Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. Zooming in on a very important question that was asked by a viewer in terms of how to really move forward after really separating from a covert narcissist, processing through the grief, understanding that there was essentially a psychological death to that relationship, and then moving forward and going on with your life, entering into all the positive possibilities that life holds for you, beginning forth on that new journey. Essentially I call it the quantum healing leap, where you're able essentially to, now you're coming from a position of power and you're able to see and embrace all the new opportunity and possibilities that lay before you. Her question was, is there more grief to have to be processed or go through in that stage? And my answer for you is unequivocally no. Once you are able to thoroughly grieve the loss of that relationship and the lies, and understand and process and understand the fact that that person who you were in love with, enamored with, was essentially a facade, that was not anything that would reciprocate love to you. Once you've been able to thoroughly process it and go through the grief and come to that acceptance, and now we're getting really moving forward in your healing process to the point where you're now embracing your personal empowerment, your autonomy, your identity, which is created and fused in a positive versus a negative. It's more in an action rather than a reaction. You're moving forward. You're basically holding your own. You are in that stage, and now it is very important that you no longer then begin to continue to take on that victim identity. You need to live on a consistent basis, protect and nurture that strengthened self, that identity where you're going out, you're doing things that are beneficial to you, you're engaging in the activities of your dreams that you own, you're going out and you're exploring your world, you're developing new identification, you're working with new groups, you're identifying with people who recognize you for all that you are. You're no longer identifying with the pathological, toxic. You're now embracing and you're identifying with your true, authentic self, your whole self. You're exercising in a new way. You're perhaps taking up a new hobby. You're exploring new places. You're traveling. You're going and experiencing these true without the burden of guilt, fear, and obligation. You're no longer in that negative mindset, which they had so thoroughly tried to instill in you. So realize that you need to keep that and protect that personal empowerment moving forward, and guard it essentially with everything that you have, and not fall prey to the guilt and processing the loss of that relationship, because the longer one holds on to the guilt, or what I'm going to essentially call self regret, or self-beratement, or where someone's beating themselves up over, I should have known better, why didn't I know better, instead of being stuck in that, instead releasing and letting it go. So letting it go without guilt, without fear, and without obligation, and realizing that that is essential to moving forward. Giving yourself permission to move forward is what it is all about. So once you're able to do that, really, and then, begin to repair on that physical, that psychological, that, cellular soul level, once you're able to really do that again and again and again, it's going to take time. You need to stay in that power for a great amount of time in order so that it really becomes you, so that you're basically protected. Some people describe it as being protected with white light. Some people, most incredible, the strongest white light that you're protected under, that nothing, no darkness, just darkness basically just bounces off. Toxicity bounces off. You're no longer attracting these sort of events and situations and conflicts. The conflicts are no longer showing up in your life. Yes, it is a It is a new state of being. When you no longer attract that